Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Talk podcast. My name is Bokang, Jiyane, if you don't know, and Bona. Today, you know that we're going to chop about things. You know what they say, another day, another dollar. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. And yeah, man, I'm super excited because it's been a while since, that I uploaded and really did a thing when it comes to the podcast. And I don't know if I've explained it or not, but basically doing this podcasting alone genuinely is tough. It's tough. It's not easy. It's not easy to do this thing. But I mean, we're all gonna keep trying and, doing what needs to be done at the end of the day. We did have a bit of a setback, but we're gonna pick it up. I think for the rest of the year we have set a plan to try be more consistent, because I don't want to drop the ball again. I think that's the last thing I want to do. And if it means that we must eat a pap, a movite or something like that, just so that this can happen and, the dream of this podcast can actualize, born. I think it'll be worth it at the end of the day. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a journey. It's not that I'm going to get it right from the jump or whatever the case might be. But I think all in all, man, like it happens, it doesn't start with me. It's not going to end with me. But I think it's how we deal with those setbacks that, help us and take us to the next level. And I think that is such a great segue into what we're going to be speaking about today. And especially because it's the month of June, we're just going to look back at like a couple of things that have happened in my life with you, lol. I'm not going to go deep, because personally, I'm scared of the internet. I can't even lie. So I'm not going to go too deep into but we're going to do like a bit of an analysis about what's happened the past 6 months, what I'm looking forward to, and also just some words of encouragement as well for any other individual who, maybe finds themselves at a place where they haven't achieved what they would have liked to have achieved this time in this year. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically the chats of today, and I hope it goes well. But before we get into the chats, the drill. It's poem of the week. So this poem that I'm going to be reading for this one, for this week, was a poem I actually read at an event last month, especially because it was Africa Month. A lot of Africa situations were taking place, and what had happened was I was invited to this event where a lecturer of sorts was getting his doctorate at the University of Pretoria, and they held an event for him as he was, celebrating this feat for himself. And I was tasked to write an original poetry piece, to perform, which was really dope. And this is kind of what I came up with, and I hope you like it. I hope you like it. I mean, it's not Africa Month anymore, but I was like, hey, you know what, might as well just share this, because it's not something. Yeah, like if you know my poetry, it's literally about love and personal experiences. So this is like, oh, let's try something different. And this is what it says. It says, it's titled My Buye e Africa. From Cape to Cairo, from Lagos to Luanda, echoes of a dream ripple across the savannah. A dream painted in the colors of unity, where borders fade and hearts beat as one entity. My Buye e Africa. Hear the ancestral call. Not one of us can thrive until we break down the walls of division sown by colonial seeds that today we breathed. It's time for us to unite, to fulfill our own needs. E Africa, my Buye. Hear the merchant's plea. Trade with your brother, not across the sea. For our fruits we do not see, attributed to greed. Trade with your brother, not across the sea. Hear the merchant's plea, if only this could be. Our wealth lies beneath our feet and in our hands, and in the gold of Ghana and in Nigeria's fertile lands. Rise, O young ones, with technology as your spear. Innovate, create, let your visions be clear, and refrain from the mistakes of the rear. Harness the sun, the wind, and the vast mineral trove. Build industries that prosper in our enclave. Speak, O poets and painters of our time. Weave the story of unity in your verse and rhyme. For now is our time. Let art be the mirror of our combined soul, reflecting the beauty that makes Africa whole. Rise, O leaders, with integrity as your guide. Serve the people, not the power and the pride. Remember Nkrumah, Lumumba, and Mandela's way. Serve with truth for Africa's brighter day. We are the children of Nubia, of Timbuktu. Our legacy is great. Our future is anew. Let us educate our children under baobab trees in words our mother taught us, using the wisdom of the elders on the brave and free. My buye, Africa, wake from your slumber. Dance to the rhythm of unity song. Let us speak in one voice, loud and proud. I am my brother's keeper. Let the continent resound. Together we stand, divided we fall. O Africa, unite. Answer the motherland's call. For when we walk together, so much we can achieve. With one heart, one vision, one destiny, we believe. And that's the poem of the week. The poem of the week. Yeah, I think it was an interesting challenge. Comment down below what you think of that one. I've never really. I mean, I've always wanted to try and expand my. What is it? What's the word? My not skill set. Yeah, skill set, but knowledge. Not English is failing me, but. Obviously wanted to diversify. I think that's for lack of better words, diversify what I'm trying to, my poetry, diversify my poetry. And I think over time it gets frustrating when you're not really knowledgeable about certain issues and topics that you really want to speak about. And therefore then that creates a barrier for you to be able to say what you want to say in a way. And I think that was a struggle for me for the longest of times. It's like, I want to say this, but am I right? Am I wrong? But how do I bring this together? And I think finally getting this opportunity to be like, yo, let's operate this situation. And they were like, yo, please write us a poem. Again, I'm not saying I'm the most knowledgeable about these topics that I write about. Most of them is just things that I see and how I interpret them. Right? So it's still personal in a way. But that's also because, again, I don't think anybody gets to the level of, they know everything kind of thing, even if it's in one topic that they focus on. So yeah, that was just a swing at that. And yeah, like I said, comment down below what you think of that. And now to speak about what today's episode is about is, just really the year. And I think we're going to start off with what has happened for me personally this year. And a lot has happened. If you follow me on social media, a lot has happened. But I think a lot of the things that I did say I was going to be intentional about, I said generally in life this year, I'm going to take back the word that I had for last year, which was to be intentional, and I'm going to apply it to this year. And I think having been more intentional about the things that I want to achieve has made life so much more nicer. I won't even lie, like it's been so much better in a sense. I don't know how to explain that. It's just been so much nicer. Excuse me. And I think starting off with like dance, I said I wanted to dance more and compete more and all of that jazz. And I think that's been so nice because the dancer I am now compared to the dancer I was in the beginning of the year are two different people entirely. And I think that's also parts and parcel because of the work I've been putting in. If you've been following me on socials, I think you would have seen all of that. And I think the biggest thing for me when it comes to dance in this year is I've literally fell in love with dancing as a whole, but my dancing, my style of dancing. And it's no longer this thing of I want to look like this individual because they're dope or whatever the case might be. It's really because I don't want to say I found myself. I think I'm still journeying with that. But I feel like in my dance, I think excuse me. Yeah, I think in my dance it's just come to a place where I'm finding my own identity in that, and I'm falling in love with that, in the way I move, in the way that I do things. And it's such a beautiful thing to see, because I think for the longest time in my dance, not just in my art form in general, I've always tried to do things because I was imitating people I liked or people that I enjoyed watching. And it's nice because, you still grow, don't get me wrong, but I think you lose your originality or things that you're trying to communicate because you're trying to replicate something that already exists. So I think my art form in general has improved tremendously, because that's no longer the trajectory that I am looking, or the lens I'm looking at my art from anymore. It's more like, this is where BK is at, and this is what BK is good at. Now let's use his strengths and his weaknesses to inform the art. Wow. Oh, this sounds nice, man. Right? But honestly, that's really how, I don't know if it's the right way to communicate what I'm thinking, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say by that. And yeah, man, I think the competitions have been dope. I'm a lot more in the scene, which is really nice. And yeah, man, I just hope to be more active on the scene, take up more challenges, take up more space, continue to grow as a dancer, and keep falling in love with myself as a dancer. Because, wow, man, I had beef with dance for a minute, I can't lie. But yeah, I think all in all, this year I said I was going to just be intentional and grow in that and compete more and be in the scene more. And could I be more involved? Yes, but I think for where I am now and what I've done so far, honestly, couldn't have been more proud of myself. And it's only up from here. As for the content creation, man, it's been going well. I think the response has surpassed what I anticipated. I really did think it was going to be more of a journey in terms of what I wanted to achieve in the last 6 months. What did I want to achieve more? I think in certain aspects, yes. But I think generally, I think I just surpassed what I anticipated for the podcast and for my content in general. I think the biggest issue, though, is trying to find a good medium for me to be consistent. I think that's the only thing. Because I feel like with the podcast helped in the consistency, and I was going ham when I started. And then obviously I'd missed a month of posting, which was May. I didn't post a single episode, which is crazy business. And it'd really be like that. And I think even with like the vlogs, I think I could do more vlogs. It's just, I don't say I twaf, because I don't twaf. I think it's just a matter of like, so much is happening. It's gila, it's content creation, it's the dance, it's, we're pursuing this thing and the third thing. So it just becomes a lot, man. It just becomes a lot. So to now also like just say, let's vlog. I don't know how people do it. Like, it's crazy. And again, like I said, not everything, but most things you're doing like one man, especially with the content creation thing. You're the director, producer, editor, ding, dang, dung, da, se, kerato. You know what I'm saying? So it just becomes a lot when you also don't have like another individual who's encouraging you, or, who's taking up I don't want to say slack, but yeah, they are strong where you are weak, or days you are weak. You kind of just have to be on the whole time, which is really a shift in mentality. And again, certain people are good at that. Personally, we're learning, because we want to make it happen for ourselves. So content creation has been great, man. I think Also, again, because going back to the dancing thing, I think I'm falling in love again with my art forms because I am not, too focused on imitating content creators I like. I'm just being myself, and yeah, man, where it lands, it lands. Where it doesn't. Where I can improve, we just aim to improve. And that's that, man. You know, certain things you can't force, you know. And you just hope it lands in some way, shape, or form. Because you can't control people's responses as well or reception to the content you create or the vision you have in your mind. And sometimes, yes, it might be work. Sometimes it just needs a getting used to and a little bit more work. And I don't know which category I fall under. But hey, man, we're still going to do this thing, you know, regardless. Because, again, it's about, as selfish as it sounds, it is about me. As selfish as it sounds. Yeah. And then, yeah, man. But I'm enjoying the process of content creation again, you know. And then there's the acting. Wow. Acting has been really dope. I've been able to go to more casting auditions and the likes, which is really lovely. Managed to get a role in a show. Yeah, not a big take, not a massive thing, but you know, Itinyana, you know. I don't know if by the time this comes out, I don't think I would have shown yet in the show. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say anything, but I think I've said enough. All I'm going to say is keep up on the socials. That's what I'm going to say, is keep up on the socials, and then 1 + 1 will be 2. You know what I'm saying? But that experience was great because, you're meeting industry people and whatnot. And personally, I get starstruck, you know, and not the starstruck but starstruck hey, man, that didn't make any sense. But I do get starstruck. That did not make any sense. But yeah, I just get starstruck, man. I really do get starstruck. And to have seen icons of people you looked up to be like, yo, one day I'm going to pursue this, has been so lovely. So lovely. And I just hope to get better and better. Honestly, I don't think I gave the best performance. But again, I think I'm trying to give myself grace because of circumstances around it. But again, you know, this industry, there's not enough grace for that. It's either it's good or it's not, and that's a good and a bad thing. But it is what it is at the end of the day. So yeah, I'm loving it, man, and I think I'm getting better when it comes to the craft as well, because of the feedback I get from audition, from my agents, or be it casting directors, has been fairly helpful, man. And you know, certain things is just a matter of things you can't control. Maybe it's my height, maybe it's the tone of my skin, or whatever the case might be. Maybe it's language. Certain things, it is what it is. But I think from a performance perspective and training that muscle, I think, I've improved a lot. And is there much more room for improvement? For sure, for shizzles, man. And we aim to do more. And obviously social media, posting monologues and, you know, doing more scene work stuff. You know, so stay tuned, guys. Oh my days. The stuff I have installed, it's crazy. You just got to make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yeah, man. So I think that was, a large part of, you know, my year was just to be like, you know what, mainly dance, acting, and content creation was like the things that I wanted to pursue, like proper. And it's been beautiful to see that flourish, you know. And that's kind of the analysis from obviously what I shared. Obviously that I did say, I don't know if I shared this, but obviously there were goals with family that I had, goals with my relationship with God, that I had. And yeah, man, I think everything in my life has much room for improvement. But again, I think the comparison from the guy I was in the beginning of the year and the guy that I am now, completely different people. And it's just, not to say it was easy as well. Like, I think it took it day by day. Things, certain things I could have made better decisions with. But, there's no point in dwelling on what could have, should have been, and just taking it as it comes. So yeah, man, I think that's the biggest thing. And obviously there's more goals that I've been able to tick off of the list that I had this year. And I just hope I keep ticking off and surpass really the goals that I had in the beginning of the year. Yeah. But I think even it now being the beginning of the year, coming to encouragement and realizing that the goals that I had not started to do, or that I am neglecting, it's not too late to begin. It's not too late to start, Yeah. And it's also not bad thing to like park certain things, because you are, again, you want to focus, you want to be intentional, right? So I think the biggest thing I want to say is, for those people who haven't started their dreams, or they're looking at their goals and they're like, yo, but it's half of the year and, it's already late. I want to say it's really not. Like, I think it's just a matter of taking that goal and breaking it down and seeing what you can do for the rest of the year, or what you can do to build up so that maybe next year, God willing, if we get there, then you can start, right? So even if you're not at a place to start, prepare or put yourself in a position where you can, put yourself in a position where you're ready to start, meaning prepare, so that when the opportunity comes, or when something great happens, you're able to jump at it. Young Tsol. So I think, that's my biggest advice for anybody who's looking at their goals or their New Year resolutions and they're like, hey, Juni, and I haven't even done a fraction of what I said I was going to do this year. I'm just saying start, And I remember seeing a post over Instagram, not a post, a story of a friend of mine. And basically, your friend is crazy, maybe acquaintance. Can't be throwing around that word loosely. But someone, I guess I'm well acquainted with. And basically, she had this goal that she was going to read, 12 books this year, right? 12 books this year. And it was May. And she had said she's on book 3. And she's like, oh, I'm a bit behind, but trust and believe, I just need to do more catching up in the next couple of months. And I was like, you see, yes, that's the mentality we need. That's the mentality we need as individuals, to say, okay, I wanted to punch at this level, but I'm only punching at this level, right? How do I get to that higher level where I want to, or I thought I was going to be to punch at, right? And the whole thing is, you just need to start and then work your words, put in the work to punch at that level or even higher, right? The higher I wanna punch, the higher level I wanna get at is dependent on the work I put in here, right? So, I think that's my biggest words of encouragement for the rest of the year is, it's not over. You see what I'm saying? It's not over, and things can change at any moment. Things, the wheel can wheel. The wheel can wheel at any moment of your life. And I think the biggest thing for me is really tap into that energy. And I think starting off the year, I've been saying it, even since like since 2023 December, that 2024 is going to be the year that things just change for me. And there's still more that's coming, and I still believe that it's only the beginning. I feel like it's only the beginning. Like, the the next 6 months are going to happen. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I think, again, it goes back to attitude. The attitude, I think, is also what really helped me in the year is, where do I want to go, and can I get there, And the answer for me was always definitely. Definitely. no matter how ludicrous, no matter how dumb the idea was, it was like, let's do it. And yeah, man, I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier in the year. It's like there's literally an atmosphere, there's literally an energy for, yeah, man. There's literally an energy and an atmosphere that's created. And if you can tap into it, it's going to really be great. And I just remembered again also the scripture of the year for me that I got, which was Ecclesiastes 3:14-17, which, paraphrasing, I think, goes along the lines of, know that everything that God does will endure forever. Nothing can be added to it and nothing taken from it. God does it so that people will fear him, right? And I think if you can go back to that episode where I spoke about it earlier in the year, but I think it's just a reminder again, this is just, I'm sharing from my personal experiences, and I just hope it inspires someone or triggers something in somebody that's listening or watching here, is, you know what, the biggest thing out of everything I'm saying, like, it's an attitude thing, being intentional and all these other things. It's all good and well to be and do all those things, but I really want to encourage you to know that everything you do, bring God in that as well. Like, really get to a place where you really talk to God about your dreams, that you really, involve God in your life, and that he's not just, some genie or some by the way thought, in your life. Like, really, really get to a place where God is the center of the things you do. And I think that's also something that's helped me this year, is understanding that you can achieve all these things, but what is it worth if God is not there, and there's no reverence for his presence and him in general, because all in all, I think getting stuff is great, but getting stuff with no purpose is like, at least that's what I think for most of the times. It's great, but then it only lasts a while, and then what? So yeah, man, know that everything God does, it will endure forever, right? And that's what you want. You want something that will last beyond you, that will really impact people. And I think that's what I get from this verse as well. It's like, everything that God does will last forever. And it's not to say that it's going to last forever in the sense that this video will be, or this audio will always be online and whatnot, and legacy, not that, chat. It's more like the impact you make in people's life. That's what will last forever and will continue to perpetuate, God willing. Yeah, before I ramble, because I could go on forever, amen. But yeah, I think that's really that's what's been on my heart, especially because it's June, it's mid-year, and life is lifing, and relatively the energy we came in with in the beginning of the year, most of us, it really just goes flat, and we miss out on the goals that we intended, be it health-wise, be it everything Ikali, young tall. So yeah, that's on this episode of the Let's Talk podcast. I have realized that this podcast is low-key a bit selfish. But again, I like it. I think this is the idea of the podcast I have had. Sesotho, that one. And there's more content coming, more different group discussions, ideas that have been that have been in ideation, and people have also requested some stuff like that, be it industry talks, be it religious talks, be it political conversations, and I really hope those things come in fruition, those ideas. And also a lot more celebrity interviews, because yeah, I see that a lot of people have really been messing with the celebrity interviews as well. So yeah, and also more friends. I think I need to have more of my mates as well to come in and have a conversation with, because I'm friends with cool people. Period. Yo, man. Anyways, it's been lovely. It's been great, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And also, please, if you're listening to this audio, wherever you're listening to, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, please leave a review, leave a comment. And also, please rate us 5-star. And if you want to rate us lower than that, rate us 5 and then tell us why you would rate us a bit less, and so that we can take it to the top, young tall. But yeah, that's been the Let's Talk podcast for this episode. Danko, thank you. Shoo.